and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow Season 10. 10 seasons of empowering entrepreneurs, 10 seasons of recognizing excellence and innovation. I'm Sananda Jayaseelan. Tonight on the show, on this very special series, I'm in conversation with someone who wears many hats as a leading entrepreneur, as a fashionista, and just so much more. Let me welcome on the show tonight Sudha Reddy, Director, Sudha Reddy Foundation, and Director of MEIL, Megha Engineering and Infrastructure Limited. Sudha, good having you with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow on this very special series where we speak to people who are doing something different and out of the norm, and you're definitely someone who's doing things that are not necessarily in keeping with the ordinary. So it's good having you with us today.
Thank you so much for your kind words.
So one such thing that I definitely want to kick off today's conversation, talking about is the fact that you have a very key eye for fashion. And anyone just watching this interview can see that and can definitely tell. And I want to talk about your presence at the Met Gala in New York. When you found out that you had been invited, and I understand you were the only Indian to be invited to attend, what was running through your mind? What were the emotions and the feelings like? How did you decide what you were going to wear? What was that like?
Actually, I had a lot to say about Met Gala. Indeed, it was a surreal feeling to be the only Indian at the 2021 Met Gala. And I cannot say if I felt ever more confident, excited, beautiful, proud, all together ever before. Memorable would be too small ever to express how I feel about my stance at fashion's biggest night out. I didn't want my designers to retain a sense of Indianness. Despite this unique theme, Falguni and Shane are true masters of their craft, here for creating bespoke pieces that hero the intricate cultural fabric of India with a modern global twist. All this took a breathtaking 250 hours, Sunanda. You don't believe that.
Wow.
Of handwork, and the result was in front of the whole world.
250 hours, that's definitely a feat in itself. But I'm curious to understand, do you have, your own personal sense of style? And I'm sure you do. And what is that like?
My personal sense of style is like, it was always like a classic, royal and everything. My personal style has always been a blend of the modern and the traditional, the West and the East. I believe that fashion is reflective and must mirror not only the pulse of the season, but the emotions and personality of the wearer. I tend to gravitate towards bright, happy colors and innovative design, but some of my favorite looks are my more understated, intricate in their simplicity.
We speak to so many female leaders, and you're in an industry, and I'm talking about your presence as Director of Megha Engineering and Infrastructure. You're one of the very few women when it comes to the so-called male-dominated infrastructure space, and some of the projects that you've done are there for the world to see. But what is that experience like for you, and your advice for female entrepreneurs, not just in the infrastructure space, but who perhaps are working in industries that are not traditionally seen as women-oriented roles?
It was really a good question, Sunanda. The sad reality is that as a female in infrastructure or in a leadership role, I belong to a very small group of women. I will not deny that it is an intimidating position to be holding, but also one that comes with immense responsibility and knowledge. One that allows you to open doors for other women too. Thankfully, I have had a very supportive partner all along, who has never believed in the traditional roles that men and women are supposed to stick to. I have always been respected as an independent, intelligent, and decisive individual by my husband and my team at MEIL. India as a nation still struggles with its perception of women.
Yeah.
However, there has been a shift in the professional sphere. Women has proven time and time again that they are no less qualified to lead than their male counterparts and are charting a course for future generations like never before.
So, some insights that you can share then with us and for the viewers of this interview about, what your entrepreneurial journey has taught you, Sudha, and also about your association with NRI College Vizag.
One of the most significant insights that I have gained is that a journey like this doesn't involve a single dynamic, unlike what we see from the distance, Sunanda. An entrepreneur begins about massive impact, but behind that is a constant juggle between multiple hats. Another incredible insight is that anyone can become an entrepreneur, but not everyone can become an entrepreneur. What it really means is that you could be an absolute nobody, an ordinary man, woman, student, teacher, doctor, homemaker, and still become an entrepreneur. Do you agree with me?
Absolutely.
There is no discrimination at all, and yet not everyone has it in them to become and sustain their stint as an entrepreneur. If there is one thing I have learned at helm of MEIL, it is that empathy, authenticity, and courage are invaluable virtues and must be aspired to both professionally and personally. As for our connection with NRI Medical College, Vizag, we at MEIL are always up to support a cause. When we decided to donate advanced ambulances to the medical college in Guntur district of Andhra Pradesh, we wanted to genuinely step beyond our infrastructural projects and services and have a direct impact on the well-being of the society.
One thing that I definitely do want to talk about, and I want to go back to discussing your work at MEIL, perhaps best known for the work that you've done with the Zojila Pass. Just talk to us about that entire process, because this one, the Pass tunnel is seen as Asia's longest bi-directional tunnel, putting India on, and India and Indian infrastructure really on the global map. What was that process like?
Coming to MEIL is like heart and soul to me and to my family. And Zojila Tunnel, I don't see it's a project which is doing by MEIL. It's a very prestigious project for the safety and security and the well-being of the nation. The Zojila Pass Tunnel project will help us further connecting people, creating pathway for our company as well as for Kashmir, Ladakh connectivity. The foundation stone for the project was laid in 2018 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, who called the project a technological marvel. The project was approved by the Union Cabinet in the same year. I would call this project a milestone for infrastructural development in this country, not just because it is Asia's longest bi-directional tunnel as of today, but also because the pass itself is situated at an altitude of over 11,500 feet. It will now help in the mobilization of defense troops and enable seamless all-weather connectivity for both defense forces and civilians between Srinagar, Kargil, and Leh. I say this with immense pride that our project is set to bring about a beautiful integration of these key regions of the country economically and socio-culturally.
Sudha, I have to take a quick commercial break. On that note, we're back in just a second. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow on a very special conversation with Sudha Reddy. I want to go back to what we were just discussing and about your desire to really give back and why you're so personally invested in giving back. And I want to talk about the Sudha Reddy Foundation and why that is crucial for you. You know, philanthropic work, and you're known for the work that you do. Why is that crucial for you? Why is it important to give back?
Thank you so much for this question, Sunanda. I feel honored that my efforts are treated with recognition and respect, and that really inspires me to continue with my various initiatives for giving back to the society. I had made a commitment to continually pledge out of my personal wealth, which led to the genesis of my association with two impactful charities, Action Against Hunger and the Breast Cancer Research Foundation with Elizabeth Hurley. Though the people around me have always associated with my name with philanthropy, I believe I am nothing more than a humanitarian at heart. The figures on malnourished children dying because of hunger really grieved me. And to learn that India itself carries 40% of global load of malnutrition was a complete shocker. It was then that I decided to take a firm step in the direction from impactful outcomes.
So, can you give us maybe quickly just one or two of the projects that you are working on right now that's close to your heart? Anything you can share?
Yeah, definitely. India is on the verge of a healthcare revolution. And as a proud citizens of this nation, I believe it's our duty and responsibility to give back whatever way we can. Access to affordable quality health care has always been a pertinent issue in India, especially in rural areas. However, the government's National Health Mission is a step in the right direction, bridging the gap between healthcare providers and patients. Our Sudha Reddy Foundation aims to aid in the mission through initiatives directed towards cancer care, the welfare of women and children, and more. Our goal is to empower the voiceless and create an India where equitable care is not an aspiration for the future, but a reality in the present. Children are our future, and the best ways to secure our future is to provide quality education to children of all ages and across the board. I have always believed that the education of our nation's youth is of utmost importance.
You know, you were just talking about some of the Hollywood names, for instance, who've chosen to associate themselves with some of these causes that are close to your heart. And I want to ask you, do you have one or two, moments that you'd like to highlight for viewers in terms of the work that you've done, whether it is working on breast cancer that you were mentioning, or hunger and poverty and underprivileged children and the causes there that you're working with? Anything you want to highlight?
Yes, exactly. I felt it's an honor to partner with global female icons for such a noble causes. I still remember my interaction with Elizabeth Hurley over the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. She really does a very great job for Breast Cancer Research Foundation London. Her commitment towards the cause was inspiring. And we spoke about the power of research and its potential to change millions of lives. It just goes to show that no matter how famous or fortunate you are, what truly matters is who you are from within. The platform you have been given as a creator is powerful.
Yes.
And if used correctly, has the ability to bring much needed change to the world.
And really in recognition of all the work that you're doing, Sudha, whether it is to do with poverty, hunger, breast cancer, the work that you do with the hospitals, you've received several awards. For the benefit of our viewers, I just want to read out a few of those. Last month, I understand you were named as the Champions of Change for Telangana Awards 2022, Young Indian Women Achievers Under 45 Awards. What does this mean to be recognized professionally and personally for the work that you're doing when it comes to giving back?
I am truly humbled to have been awarded these prestigious titles and consider it my duty to serve the thousands of men, women, and children across the globe. We are all part of the same family, one species, united by our humanity.
Also, I understand you were nominated for the Global Gift Empowerment of Women Award, and this is specifically for your humanitarian work. You were just talking to us about what it feels for this personal and this professional recognition, but you continue to get awards both domestically and internationally. Just talk to us about that.
Also, again, I felt so privileged to be nominated for this coveted and prestigious award. The welfare and empowerment of women has always been a cause very close to my heart.
Yeah.
My team has worked tirelessly to make a difference, and for us to be recognized for our work will remain a source of immense pride. I always had a strong vision and belief in empowering other women, whether through my position, my motivational talks, my public appearances, or simply my actions.
How are you balancing running a business along with doing your philanthropic and your social work? How do you manage to find the divide?
I still remember being told by my father that one can always make time for doing the things they really care about. 24 hours is enough for the disciplined yet excited mind and lifestyle. Work is a privilege, and to be of service to the larger community is the greatest accomplishment. To me, my work is a form of worship, and I have never once felt burdened. It is this simple philosophy that I have weaved into my day to day life still. No matter how my day looks like, I do have some non negotiable tasks on the list. Planning my day in advance helps me devote enough time to work, rest, networking, and family. I believe the key to multitasking is to not consider them as tasks, but as habits or hobbies or practices that you cannot do without.
Along with the many hats you wear, perhaps, and I'm sure this you will agree with me, the most important one that you wear is that of being a mother. You have two young children. How do you manage that, Sudha? How do you manage to get it all in a single day's worth of work?
I really applaud to the mothers around who are handling their children, house, and office and barely managing to make some time out for themselves. Having said that, it is true that my work and social commitments are quite demanding. But as an individual and as a mother, I have learned from the gift of prioritizing. I have a wonderful team to rely upon and a caring and understanding husband who will share all abilities of parenting and guardianship for our beautiful children. Much like my work, being a mother is a challenge I'm happy to meet. My children are my pride and joy, always inspiring me to be better than I was yesterday. If it was not for my family, I do not believe I would be half the women I am lucky enough to be today. Advice to female entrepreneurs, not only in our industry, but across our country, who will be watching this interview, on how they can stick to their path to achieve their goals. Female entrepreneurs are still called female entrepreneurs because it is supposed to be a rare sight. This is true for all sectors, and especially when it comes to the more male dominated industries like infrastructure and technology, of which I am a part. The key is to take pride in being a woman, but not individuality as a professional. Spend your years honoring your skills and capabilities as a leader, but do not give up on the empathy, emotion, or feelings that make you the woman you are.
Would it be fair to ask you which, between your entrepreneurial and your social work, you enjoy doing more? Which one keeps you more on your toes?
To be frank, my philanthropic works gives me a lot of joy, wholehearted joy. So entrepreneurship gives me confidence, independence, and pride, while my social welfare work helps me sleep peacefully and happily at the end of the day. Both come naturally to me, but while the former gives me the adrenaline rush I need, the latter gives me immense satisfaction and joy.
Fascinating talking to you here, and congratulations for all the work that you're doing, and look forward to meeting you in person soon.
Thank you so much, Sunanda. See you soon. Have a good, lovely day. Thank you.
For those of you watching at home, if you have any feedback for us, our contact details on your screens as we speak. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.